Hello students, and welcome you all to this video lecture series on chapter Introduction to Powder Metallurgy. In last video we have seen the second step in powder metallurgy process, that is mixing and blending, as well as we have seen the third step, that is compaction. In first step, mixing and blending, we have seen the definition of mixing and blending and what are the various types of additives which are added in the powder so that we will get the desired properties. In next step, that is compaction, we have seen the three types of compaction methods, that is single acting ram, second double acting ram, and third isostatic pressure, by which you can get the desired density in the green compact. Now in today's lecture we will see the next step, that is a sintering process we will see in this video. So firstly, whenever we have seen the blending and mixing, there we have used one mixer in which the raw powder is placed, and so that the powder will get thoroughly mixed. When that blending and mixing process is done, the particles of the powder are separated from each other with a wide distance. Secondly, when compression step we have done, where we have applied a high amount of pressure on the powder, then that powder will become a dense powder. That means the distance between the two particle size will become more closer and closer, and they get closer to each other, and the compound will become dense. But that dense component is not our final product, because after application of some amount of force, that dense particle will become a loose powder. So to avoid that, we must do some amount of further process, that is a heating process called as a sintering process, to get that particles or to get that powder metals to be bonded to each other so that they will not get removed while use. So this is the sintering process that we need to do after compressing. We will see now the definition of sintering. It is defined as the heating of a compacted aggregate of the metal powder in a controlled atmosphere furnace to a temperature below its melting point, with or without application of external pressure, to transform it to a dense material by inner particle bonding. So sintering is defined as one kind of a heating process after compaction, and it is in a controlled atmosphere called as a furnace, the temperature below the melting point or below recrystallization temperature, without the application of external pressure or with the help of application of external pressure. In sintering process, student may say it is only of the heating process. No, in some types of sintering process we can apply external pressure also during the heating. In the diagram also you can observe that towards right there is one central portion called as a sintering, in which heating of the powder heating of the compact is done, and then it is cooled. In left side animation also you can observe that first that components produced by compaction are heated below recrystallization temperature or below melting point, and then they are passed through a cooler so that they will get cool, and the desired properties or desired bonding between the inner particle may happen. In sintering, atomic diffusion takes place and welted areas form during the compaction. Now this atomic diffusion will take place during the sintering process because we are heating that, and then we are applying small amount of pressure also in some kind of sintering. So the atomic diffusion takes place and a strong bonding between the atom takes place, and that component will become as good as a pure metal also. The recrystallization and grain growth may follow, and the pores tend to become rounded, and total porosity as a percentage of the whole volume tend to decrease. At elevated temperature, the centering temperature, the atoms can move more easily and quietly migrate along a particle surface. In technical term, it is called as a diffusion. Diffusion of particle takes place. Decrease in the free energy due to decrease of the surface area. So you can observe here in first diagram there is a surface of free energy is there. After application of pressure, that will become dense, and after application of heat treatment, that chemical reactions will takes place and strong bonding will takes and dense solid part will produce. The centering imparts some kind of a strength, densification and dimensional control also. That's why centering is very important in the powder metallurgy. It imparts or it gives strength, density, high density, that is called as densification, and dimensional control to the component. The centering, the primary driving force for centering is not the fusion of the material, but the formation and growth of the bonds between the particles. Growth of the bonds between the particles is happen in centering. There are few stages during the centering that are shown in that 4 diagrams. In the first diagram, you can observe that there is a point bonding between the particles after compaction, and that point bonding will form the necking after small amount of heating. Then it will generate a small pores, and there will be grain growth, and these grain boundaries will form, and these pores will get reduced in a small amount, and these pores will remain in small amount after that small heating also. So for removing these pores, again you can apply small amount of pressure and heat if you require a dense component. If you require small amount of pores, then you can reduce the amount of pressure and temperature during the sintering. So the adhesion without shrinkage, densification and grain growth stage, and final stage with the closed pores or elimination of the last isolated rounded pores, these are the steps in the sintering process. Adhesion without shrinkage, densification and a grain growth stage, and the final stage with the closed pores or elimination of the last isolated pore is done. These are the steps in sintering. So there are few types of sintering also, that is a solid state sintering, liquid phase sintering, and reactive sintering. In solid state sintering, only the solid phases are present at the sinter temperature. Only the solid phase are present at the sintered temperature. In liquid phase sintering, small amount of liquid phase are present during the sintering. So generally we are heating that below recrystallization temperature or liquid phase, but in some cases the liquid phase sintering is also done. A small amount of liquid phase are present during the sintering. Reactive sintering, that is particles react with each other to form the new product phase. These can also be done in the sintering process. So these are the 3 types of sintering: solid state sintering, liquid phase sintering, and reactive sintering. Now in this table, few types of powders, their sintering temperature and sintering time is given. So the aluminum and its alloy require the sintering temperature to be 370 to 520, and for 24 minutes you have to keep that. If required some changes in the properties of the final component, you can increase or decrease the temperature, as well as you can increase or decrease the sintering time also. It depends on your final properties, which properties you require. Next, for copper, brass, bronze, that temperature for 30 minutes, iron, this temperature for 30 minutes, stainless steel 1180 for 20 to 40 minutes, tungsten carbide for 1480 to the 20 to 40 minutes. That much sintering temperature and sintering time is required for these types of powders. So this is also important as a reference. If you are doing any kind of a project in powder metallurgy, this amount of temperature you need to achieve, and this amount of sintering time you need to give to the final compacted product to these types of powders. Next, the advantage of sintering. The particular advantage of sintering in the powder metallurgy technique includes the possibility of a very high purity for the starting material and their target uniformity. So very high purity is there, you will achieve by sintering process. Preservation of purity due to the restricted nature and subsequent fabrication steps. Stabilization of the details of repetitive operations by control of the grain size growth in the input state. Stabilization of the details of repetitive operation by control of the grain size in the input stage. Absence of the segregate particles inclusions as often in melt process and casting process. Also, we will observe these drawbacks, that is segregation of particles and inclusions, that will be reduced in this. Not requirement for the deformation to produce the directional elongation of the grains. So these are the some advantages of sintering. Then the last step in the powder metallurgy process is a finishing operation. So these finishing operations may or may not required in some cases. In some cases they may require. So these finishing operations we will see one by one. First process that you can do is a coining and sizing. These are the high pressure compacting operations. It is shown in that animation also. If you want to resize the component, if you want to increase or decrease the size, if you want to do the coining operation, then also you can do by using this process. There are main functions to impart, that is a greater dimensional accuracy to the sintered part and greater strength and better surface finish by further densification. These you can achieve by coining and sizing operation. Second, forging operation. The sintered powder metallurgy parts may be hot or cold forged to obtain the exact size, good surface finish, good dimensional tolerance and a uniform and fine grain size. For that you can do the forging operation. Also, the forged powder metallurgy parts are being increasingly used for such applications as a high stressed automotive parts, jet engine parts or turbine components. For these applications also it is using forged powder metallurgy part. Heat treatments. So heat treatment process I have already also explained while explaining the powder metallurgy process. This heat treatment is different from the sintering process. In sintering process just we are heating that component below recrystallization temperature, and here we required some special purpose heatings, that is carburizing, nitriding, carbonitriding, tempering or surface hardening. For these purposes we require the heat treatment. Sintered powder metallurgy part may be heat treated for obtaining the greater hardness and strength in them. This also will include in the secondary finishing operations. Next, machining. In sintered components there may be some machining operations can be done on the final powder metallurgy part, that is turning, milling, drilling, threading, grinding as per requirement to obtain the various geometrical features in the powder metallurgy parts. Next step is finishing. Almost all the commonly used finishing methods are applicable to powder metallurgy. All finishing methods such as grinding, drilling, milling. Some of such methods are plating also, brushing also, coating also, coloring also. You can do any kind of color, you can do plating, that means another one kind of coating also you can do by plating process. You can do burnishing, coating, coloring. All these processes can be done on the powder metallurgy part, and these are called as secondary processes. So in today's lecture we have seen a few processes, that is a sintering process and finishing operations, secondary finishing operations on powder metallurgy part that are necessary. In next video lecture we will see advantages, disadvantages and few applications of powder metallurgy. Thanks for watching.